Hello and welcome, or welcome back to Language Culture and Dr. Lou. And so today I've got two new useful rare words for you, and they are quite different because one of them, perspicacious, is a really positive thing to call somebody. I would even say a high compliment, and I'll get into that a little bit later. Whereas the other one, Philistine, is pretty insulting. It is a pretty darn mean thing to call to somebody. And perspicacious is a noun, the Philistine is an adjective, and they mean very, very different things, like I was saying. And so, what about perspicacious? What's that all about? Like I said, this adjective would be a high compliment to pay someone. Like if someone we might call Sherlock Holmes a perspicacious detective, because perspicacious is something that you can call someone who has a lot of ready know-how and a lot of intellect, so much that they will be able to decide on things quickly and really they know how to get things done. They know how to make things happen. So yeah, I think that Sherlock Holmes would be a good example of a perspicacious detective. And you could describe someone else, let's say a lawyer. A perspicacious lawyer might be somebody who really knows their way around a certain topic and even can cite case law off their head to make a good point and all that. Anyway, so that's perspicacious. I find that word really useful because it's a good compliment for somebody who really knows their stuff and can accordingly get things done that way. So that's perspicacious, again, really positive, whereas Philistine is a pretty negative thing to call someone. This is a noun. So if you're identifying someone as a Philistine, that means they're pretty narrow minded or closed minded as far as culture is concerned. Like they want nothing to do with uh, art or music, literature, any of those things, no artistic production, and they tend to be pretty materialistic. Um, on top of being hostile towards culture, they end up being pretty materialistic. And some would say that this word Philistine came from some of the folks in the Bible, especially in the Hebrew Bible. The Philistines were people, they were, well, hostile towards the Israelites in there. Like, for instance, Goliath was a Philistine of the David and Goliath story, and so was Delilah in the Bible. Anyway, and but given what it means lately, I don't think that's the reference going on as far as the history of the new meaning goes. And because what does it mean? It's, of course, somebody who's very narrow minded, who's very hostile towards culture, pretty much. And so that, I believe, comes from there was a confrontation in the late 17th century in Jena, Germany, between some university students and some townspeople. And eventually, this word ended up being used to refer to the townspeople as people who are hostile towards culture. So that makes a lot of sense that it would come from there and then into English, meaning about the same thing. So, but that's Philistine for you. That's not a nice thing to call somebody. You're calling them a Philistine. If you're calling them that, you're basically saying that they are devoid of culture and they know nothing about culture. So anyway, not a nice word to call somebody, but maybe useful in the right circumstance with the right person. Anyway, so those were our useful rare words for today, which perspicacious. Again, this is a high compliment to give somebody who has a lot of intellect and know-how and can really make things happen that way. And a Philistine is a nice insult to fling at somebody you find to be devoid of any knowledge of culture or anything like that. And so anyway, yeah, that's it. So thank you so much for watching this video, and please do give it a like, give it a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed to the channel yet, please do consider subscribing. I would appreciate that.